This is the 31st service like this that I've participated in. I was introduced to it by someone in my first church. And for those first 10 years that we did it, it required a week of work in the library. Remember libraries? And then slowly but surely, the internet changed everything. Change is always a theme in this service. How one invention or intervention or creative production changes the world we live in. One of the major changes over that period has been in how we communicate. Email and its successors, and the inventor of email, the first man to send a message between two different computers, was Raymond Tomlinson. In order to distinguish between the username and the computer name, he chose the sign @ which used to mean, I don't even remember what it used to mean. Tomlinson died this year, as did Marvin Minsky, the father of artificial intelligence, and Wesley Clark, who is credited with designing the first PC. Also, John Ellerby, whose engineering work paved the way for the laptop computer. The first such portable computer devices were snapped up by military and intelligence forces to such an extent that one model came with a magnesium case decorated with a red dot, put there to assist the aim of someone who might have to shoot it to destroy its data. There have been moments. Later, we all got one. Going back a generation, Tyrus Wang, the animation artist whose beautiful drawings of deer and its fawns drew the attention of his employer, Walt Disney, and became Bambi in 1941. Wang had immigrated from China with his father as a teenager, practiced his art using brushes and plain water on newspaper, and attended the Otis Institute of Art on a full scholarship. After a career in animation, he retired. In 1968, he retired when I was 16 years old, and he created wonderful kites during the rest of his life. He died this year at the age of 106. This gives me a whole different perspective on retirement. Also in 1968, Larry Coburn was an 18-year-old helicopter crewman in Vietnam, assigned to hover above a village called My Lai. When it became clear to the helicopter crew that their comrades below had gone berserk and were killing unarmed civilians, the crew intervened. They rescued the civilians, informed the soldiers that they would shoot them if they continued their rampage, and reported the problem to the authorities. Later, the incident was uncovered by a journalist. That journalism was one of the important things that contributed to the end of the war. Coburn later met one of the civilians that he had rescued. He was 67 this year when he died of liver cancer. Another perspective on retirement. Dr. Heimlich, who invented the Heimlich maneuver, died this year. This procedure has saved countless lives, and just in case you've forgotten the details, here's how you do it when somebody's choking. Actress Debbie Reynolds died this year at the age of 84, one day after her daughter, Carrie Fisher, who died at the age of 60. Carrie was also an actress who played the very young Princess Leia in Star Wars: The New Hope. In this 1970 movie, she endured torture, was then rescued like a princess should be by a couple of virile young men who, when she discovered they had no escape plan, took charge and smart-talked her way across the galaxy and into lasting fame. For the girls of the era, it was thrilling, and she gave them permission to be themselves. This fame was not good for Carrie Fisher, however, and she had a hard life dealing with addiction issues. She had a full but not starstruck acting and writing career and a difficult but close relationship with her mother. In the 1990s, she choked in a restaurant, and her life was changed by the Heimlich maneuver. 3 years ago, she, her two rescuers, and Kenny Baker, who played the robot R2-D2, were all recast in The Force Awakens. And Carrie gracefully played an aging revolutionary whose son had turned to the dark side. I imagine that everyone who saw the movie was taken aback by how much her hard life had told on her appearance, and way too many people were rude enough to take her to task for that. Another of those indignities that women in public life endure. To me, though, her reprise as an older princess had a poignant reality to it. We are all shaped and molded by the lives we have led. Kenny Baker also died this year. It does seem that the epic battle of good and evil, and that is Star Wars, however, will go on with a new set of young stars. Which is how it is in our real world, isn't it? Good is never clearly won, evil never completely vanquished, and a new generation faces new iterations of the challenges and are shaped and molded by the things they choose and the lives they live.